It's almost Halloween, and we have arrived at the costume you all voted for. Yes, I know it's hard to tell, but this is Tony Simeone, your host of Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com. I look a lot like Lou Holtz, championship coach, 1988. You can see the beautiful windbreaker here with the white collared shirt, the glasses, the hat, and most importantly, the whistle. Coached up a great show today. It was an awesome experience talking to a few basketball guests. We kind of shifted gears with the bye week this week. Had Micah Shrewsberry back in the chair, and we also talked to Demetrius Jackson. Got to relive the 2015 ACC championship a little bit. Hard to believe it's been 10 years since Notre Dame men's basketball won that ACC championship. A little bit later, got to talk to two of the new guys on the team, a couple of freshmen, Sir Mohammad and Cole Certa. Another fun draft. Won't give away what we drafted, but it was definitely nice to go up and draft against some Gen Zs again. I'm not as confident in my team, but once again, we'll take your votes in the comments on the YouTube page if you want to vote on who had the best draft. Finally, we had a chance to talk to Bevacqua again. The athletic director came by, had a great conversation with him during the bye week, kind of about where things stand with football, and then previewed some of the winter sports as well. So, as always, was a great conversation. I love this outfit. Thank you for voting for this outfit, Lou Holtz, instead of a zombie leprechaun or whatever the heck those other nominations were. This is a much cleaner look for me. Again, I know it's hard to tell that it's not Lou Holtz up here and that it is me, Tony Simeone, but appreciate that, and we'll see what we can put together for next year's Halloween. It was a great show. Without any further ado, let's talk to Micah Shrewsberry and Demetrius Jackson. Coach Shrews, great to see you. We got Demetrius Jackson here. What do you think of my costume? Let's start there. I rarely ask questions about me on this show, but I think we have to start with the elephant, the Lou Holtz-sized elephant in the room. What do you think of this costume?
Two things. One, at first, I wasn't sure, wasn't sure what you were going with there in the costume. I thought that was just normal outfit, right? People were going more throwback looks.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's Halloween. Yeah, that is a costume. Two, wanted to congratulate you on all your success in the championship coaches run there during the games when they put that promotion on the screen.
At the video board.
On the video board. Lou Holtz has been dominating a little bit.
Has he won multiple races?
I know he's won one.
Okay.
I know he's definitely won one. Maybe the first one that I remember he won.
You're doing a great job of promoting any available tickets that are available for football games, because one of the best things about the game, other than the football team, is watching the digital coaches race on the video board. It's an amazing innovation, and Coach Holtz he has a chip, so he did a good job.
It is. Yeah.
What do you think of my look, Demetrius? Do you like this?
I like it. I like everything but the low cut socks. Everything with the low cut socks. I like everything but the low cut. Good, though.
I didn't think about that when I walked out of the house today. I was told to just bring, the navy pants and a button down and white shoes, which I got. I thought this navy little touch would work with them, but I think you're right. I need different socks.
Coach wear low socks? Was that what they did?
I'm going to say Lou Holtz did not.
No
socks.
Now I feel like I'm feeling all subconscious about my ankles now and everything.
High socks.
Did you just
probably Hanes? Black Navy.
Did you you were saying you had a Halloween party the other day, right?
I did. Yeah, we had a Halloween party for the Elevate community. Elevate with 11 is a basketball training program that I run in the area, working with a lot of the young athletes, just trying to help build their game, elevate their game. And we had a Halloween party. We gave away awards for best costume for a parent, and that parent walked away with a nice gift card to Ruth Chris. We had a best costume for the athletes as well, and that person got a nice little gift card as well. And then, we did awards. The athletes been working hard all summer, so just like being like a kickoff to their season.
Yeah.
Here you go. Good job. You did a great summer. Had a great summer.
What were the winning costumes?
Malevolent. Is that the name of it? From Malevolent for the parent. And then there was like a duo costume. It was like a blind referee and like a blind referee, like a referee with the glasses on, and then a player, making like a call. So
that's a good one. Yeah. Have you seen? I see this come up on my social media feeds. It's like the couples go. A guy will dress up in a basketball outfit, and then the girl will get down and be like the basketball, and she bounces around, and she's the basketball.
Okay, I've seen that one. Yeah,
it's a good couples costume.
We had a family of 4. They were chips and salsa and tacos. So it was like chips, salsa, and then 2 tacos for the kids. So it was cool to just see the parents like just get out of their shells and have fun. Yeah, I saw a bag of hot Cheetos walking around like somebody dressed. So it was so many different costumes. It was cool to be a part.
Did you have a costume on?
I was an astronaut. You get it because it's Elevate, first man on the moon. So I put a little spin on it.
I like that.
Put a little spin on it.
First man on the moon, Elevate. Yeah. Okay, you strike me as a guy that has put together a few good costumes in your day.
Yeah.
Can you list off maybe your top 2 or 3? What do you got?
One of my favorites from my time with the Celtics. I came to 2 practice. I didn't wear it during practice, but to the facility as Jake Shuttlesworth.
Oh,
went back and had the red cut off with the white shirt underneath, the black shorts. I had the Jordans that he had on, and then I took one of my daughter had like an iPod or something, and I taped it to my ankle like it was an ankle monitor. And then I had some papers rolled up around, so guys would walk in, and I'd walk over to him and be like, You seen Jesus? Tell him I'm looking for him.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, but then I couldn't wear it during practice because it was probably would have been a little.
You walk around with an iPod on your ankle in practice.
Yeah, it was kind of hurting a little bit.
When you see what he's doing with the people in the program, we've talked a lot about the local hoops scene. Just like, what does that mean to you to see that? I know that like 574 basketball scene, it seems like it just keeps kind of getting better and better every year. From your vantage point as the coach, what does it mean to see him putting it back into the community?
It's really cool for me to see, right? Because like this area, it's such great basketball. And I remember, being from Indiana and growing up, and you know about the players and you know about the people that are coming from here. And this, like, South Bend's got a strong basketball history. This area does. And to see a lot of guys giving back and putting it into like what they've learned, now trying to help continue this area grow. And I've got a chance to see him. I'm fortunate enough to he works with one of our, works with one of my sons. He works with some other kids in our coaching staff, but I've seen him work. He's got a great way about him that, like, for a guy that played at the professional level, the way that he can handle himself with younger kids that are just starting out is like fascinating, right? He's got a great way about him and how he teaches to have the patience to help other people really try and grow their game. So it's like, we got a great representative of Notre Dame that's like putting back a lot into this community and helping the basketball in this area continue to stay strong.
What's your philosophy then? Like when you hear him describe that, how do you get in that mindset? Because it sounds like from a coach, that's not always the easiest thing to do.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot to me. I think for me, it definitely took practice. Like the very first training session I ever had with little kids, and I was like, all right, we're going to go between cross, snatch them back, get to a reverse layup. And everybody's looking at me crazy. So practice for me, every single time I do a training session, I want to be better for the next one. So just continue to grow, continue to try to watch and learn. I watch coaches. I study other people. So just studying and growing, just like I did as a player, just trying to get better, watching the film back and stuff like that. So that's one portion of it. I think the other portion of it is just the human component for me. In my life experience, going through certain things, I can relate to the kids. So, there's times where kids may get frustrated. I had plenty of frustrations in my career and in life. So, I just grab them and just try to meet them where they're at. Yeah. So that's a big portion of it too, the human component for sure.
Okay, I have a question just thinking about that. Taking college and professional level off the table because you've coached at both levels, basically high school age and below. Do you guys have a preferred sweet spot age that you like to coach kids? Because I remember when I was in high school, we did the basketball camps, and there was like the 5th and 6th grade league, and there was the 7th and 8th grade league. And when you're the seniors, you're like, we're coaching 7th and 8th grade because they can do a little bit more than 5th and 6th. And I just think you said that. Yeah. I said, man, I have all these sets. I'm going to have these kids run, and then the 5th graders can't do it. Yeah. The 8th graders, they could do a little bit. So do you guys have an age in your head, like that's when it starts to click? and maybe they can't do all the combinations you want, but they can do something? What's that age?
It's a little bit different, right? Like, I think if you can get them right in that time frame, but a little bit before, if you can get to that 5th, maybe 6th grade, 7th grade year,
okay,
before they become too cool.
Yeah, you can develop that foundation.
Yeah.
You have to get to them early.
You got to get
cut them off at the pass.
a little bit early, right?
Yeah.
They still got that, like, I got that hunger to keep growing and getting better. But I'm not too cool for school, so I'll still listen to you every once in a while because my friends won't be giggling when I'm trying to do what the coach says.
So you're saying they're more coachable at that 5th, 6th grade age than when all of a sudden they're maybe 7th, 8th, 9th. Now they're getting their stuff's going to their head, is what you're saying. A little bit.
I like that group, 7th to 9th grade. Obviously, players above that, you could just do more. It's fun to see a player explode, get on the rim and stuff like that. But 7th through 9th grade in my program is when they're developing their identities, like who they are off the court. So they're developing their personalities. They're learning to talk more. We got a lot of kids that are quiet, but then they start speaking. They start having dialogues with their own parents, which is cool to see. There's times where we incorporate the parents in. The parent will end up rebounding or setting the screen for us. And, so it's cool to see the kid develop their personality. And that I feel like a lot of that comes from 7th through 9th grade for me. I feel like below that, they're just kind of staring at you. They're just looking at you like, so it's cool to see that personality come up.
I talked to Coach Shrews last year about some of the guys that he grew up watching, and I've talked to players on the team that, like, for instance, Blake talked about watching you when he was on the team. Who were the guys that you followed in the area? Who are some of the best players? Like, the one that comes to mind, maybe you were too young. Like, did you know about, was Sean Kemp before you? Like, in Elton?
Yeah, Sean Kemp was...
When you were really young?
Yeah, I was... So Sean Kemp, my foster parents, my foster dad used to tell me stories like, man, we were at Marion and Sean Kemp was at Concord. He threw it off the backboard, tomahawk dunked on my head. And so, yeah, I've heard plenty of stories about Sean Kemp. I definitely tried to study the players in the area that came before me. There's been a lot of great players in our area, like Cedric Moody, Brandon McKnight.
Okay.
And tons of other athletes who, push that needle a little bit forward for athletes like myself. Mm-hmm. And then for me, same thing, trying to push that needle forward for athletes like the Blakes and the Marcuses and other athletes younger than that. And one cool thing too, Coach, one thing we do is always just try to ask the players, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do with this? And they're like, oh, I want to go to college. I'm like, cool, where do you want to go? And so it's always cool when the kids are like, I want to go to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, cool, all right, so this is what it takes. Let's look at the point guards that are currently there. Let's look at just point guards in college. This is how good we got to be able to do this. We got to be able to do that because these foundations are already laid. So, I always refer to Marcus when I'm training and a point guard has told me they want to go to college. I'm like, all right, then we got to be a 3-level scorer. We got to be able to finish like this. We got to be able to make these passes. And then also, too, I'm like, we got to be 5-star. We got to be a 5-star recruit because that's what coaches recruiting right there. So I tell Coach's son, too, I said, listen, if you want to go here, you got to be a 5-star recruit, or you got to be that talented of a player. So we got to work. We got to get better.
I like that. That's a good mindset to be ingraining in them. Yep. And you didn't have to, you've seen the video, right? Sean Kemp?
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's one of my favorite videos.
We had to teach Tay Davis last year. He had
one of my... Yeah. I seen a video, NBA, Anthony Edwards did that the other day. He's pointing at 2. He scored over 2 people. But no, Sean Kemp, I've watched when I was especially in high school, but even in college, I would just turn on YouTube videos and watch people's mannerisms and how they interacted with their coaches and stuff like that. And just watching Sean Kemp and, one of my favorites, he dunked on the dude and they dapped up.
Yeah.
Dapped him up after that. So
all respect.
Yeah.
I grew up in Seattle, so I got to see him in person a couple of times. It's as a 6-year-old. It's just unbelievable to think about.
Yeah.
I want to shift a little bit and just talk about this team. We're coming up on the season here, obviously, and we got a great guy to just talk about what he sees from afar. But you guys had a really good summer, it sounds like, going overseas. I remember watching this team last year. I was going back and looking at the numbers as we get set for this year and just looking at the guys' names again. And I got pretty excited, Coach, to see a lot of the guys you got back and the new young guys. Just how have things been going now that you're really on the verge of another season at Notre Dame?
Yeah, we were about to start maybe our scrimmage on Saturday, and I don't know if it was Trey or Grady he was like, Coach, last year, He said, how we started this scrimmage last year would be the equivalent of us starting Marcus, Braden, and 3 freshmen. And I was like, wow, I don't know how I would feel about that right now. Like that's, when you think about that and then you look, it's like, wow, we were playing some really young guys and, they got thrown to the fire and they've benefited from it. They understood what it took or what it takes and they grew. Now you see the confidence that those guys are playing with now, that how Marcus and Braden are playing now. Tay and Keba another year in the system and more comfortable, like JR and Julian, like Logan, like all those guys like benefited from last year, and then the pieces that you added with them are all great fits. So I don't know if there's ever been a coach that doesn't say, I like my group, right?
Come here. Man, this group is tough.
Yeah. But I like our guys just because like everything off the court has been fantastic. And obviously like there's really been no struggle yet, right? That's when you find out who you are as a group. But this group I think can handle struggle because of their relationship that they've built with each other way before this season's even started.
I want to get your input. You can tell me how you think this team looks from your standpoint, but just what I heard him saying too is a lot of guys, even the guys who were maybe sophomores technically, hadn't had a lot of experience. A lot of guys got their first full real season of reps and being in it. What's the value of that first full season, Demetrius? Then you get the whole off season, like that year 2. Do you just feel so much more comfortable when you finally have that under your belt?
Absolutely. Identity. Identity starts to form. And I will say, too, the year we won our ACC championship was right the year after. We did a foreign tour that summer. So we did Italy that summer. The camaraderie you build just being overseas, experiencing something new and different. I had never been out of the country at that time, so experiencing this with our team and just hanging out, having fun, and then competing against pros, overseas, and just like a family. And they just took their foreign tour, so we got some expectations now. But I think that identity starts to form the more time you spend together. Obviously, when you struggle together and you stick together, identity starts to form. So people start to understand their role a little bit better. And when you have people that can be star in their role, the team just meshes well. And when I watch the team practice, you start to see those identities coming out. I think outside of that too, like guys are more confident in who they are and what they can provide for a team as well.
You alluded to 2015. I don't want to make you feel old, but this is going to be the 10-year anniversary of that. I guess, first of all, can you believe it's been that long since then?
I can at times. Yeah, I feel sometimes I'm on the court training. I'm like, man, I feel 30 years old, but yeah, it was cool. I was looking up some of the stats today. I wanted to be ready today, so
all right.
I was looking up some of the stats and seeing some of the things. And
what's your favorite stat you found today?
My favorite stat. Shout out to Zach August. Zach August. He that was my favorite stat. I feel like that's one player's name who we probably should mention more because he in that championship game, North Carolina had 3 bigs, and we had Zach and Pat playing our bigs, but. Zach was taking on that 3-headed monster there, and he had a double-double that game. Yeah. So I would say shout out to Zach if you see this. Okay. Shout out to him.
You were with the Celtics in 2015, right?
Yeah.
But do you remember watching the ACC championship and noticing this team, or were you not that dialed into these?
I definitely would have been watching.
Okay.
Right? And like paying attention, right? You get to that time of the year, everybody's watching. You got a lot going on, but everybody's watching at that point in time, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I remember, like, just that team, like, I do, like, think about that, like, Zach, like, just battling all those guys, right? And that's something that they, like, kind of kept talking about, kept mentioning, like, him in there battling those guys by himself. But, so I remember, like, I can't vividly remember the game, but I do remember, like, man, like Notre Dame just won the ACC.
Yeah. In the second year in the conference, too. It's kind of a big statement for you guys that year, wasn't it?
And the teams we went through. Miami was really good. They had a great team, great talent. And then Duke and North Carolina, right there. And I remember looking up in the stadium and it was like all blue, baby blue. So, and we had like a little section of green. And so it was cool to go through those teams. That game what's crazy? We would like be losing at halftime and then play better. That was one thing we would always do. And I was looking up the stats. We did a 26-3 run in the second half. So I'm like, man, what were we losing by if we ended up winning barely? So I was like, yeah, those are just cool stats to look back on. Another stat, we went 7 deep. We only went 7 deep. I was just looking at the minutes and how much minutes everybody plays. So, and then that being the third game, you had to really lock in.
3 games in 3 days, right?
3 games, yep. So I think Jaren played like 35 minutes, double-double, Pat, Steve, and then VJ and Bonzi came off the bench. So, yeah, it was a cool memory. One of the best memories of my life for sure. We had one of the hardest summers, but we had one of the most team-building summers. We came together, and like I said, that identity starts to form, and I feel like this team is starting to get that. So,
okay. Last one I got for you, Coach, is just about first month here. What are you most looking forward to? What do you want to see, I guess, from the team when they get on the floor for the first time, I guess, in a real game on November 6th? But really, there's a lot of great games coming up in the month of November.
Yeah. For us, especially early, we spent so much time on our offense, right? Trying to be better in that way. You want to start games really establishing your pace and how you want to play and everything else. So that's important for us early, early to start games, but early in the season, and establish how we want to play. But at the same time, keep our same defensive focus. And there's some habits that are built up from the guys that are returning. And you can see those guys playing on a string defensively.
Okay.
Now we have to get, as we start to sub, as we start to work more, some of the new guys in, we got to get them on that same string. Right. And that's early in the year. We got to build that as quickly as we can. So we can be good on both sides of the ball.
I loved watching these guys defend last year. It was so fun. Last one I have for you is just about 5-7-4 night. So last year, did you talk to the crowd during the time?
I did talk to the crowd, yep.
Okay, so for those maybe that are listening that are local, why don't you tell them why they should come to every game, obviously. But 5-7-4 night, I remember there was just a different energy in the building. I talked to Coach about it.
Yeah, Virginia.
Yeah, this year I think it's Virginia Tech, I think in February. That was one of the coolest nights for me. I don't know. It was just a great game. Got the great result. What was the energy like? Why should someone that's local come out, especially on 5-7-4 night this year?
I think you guys should be attending every game.
Correct.
We got some really talented players. I know Coach focusing on the offense early on. We're going to see some highlights. We're going to see some dunks, some lob plays. We got some cool stuff coming up from Coach. But then just our community, right? Just taking pride in our team, taking pride behind the university, supporting them. That extra crowd energy, it does so much for the team. It helps build the momentum. It helps take away the team's momentum. And I feel like that's something we should establish early as well. But 5-7-4 night, especially, that's the night where we give all the love back to the community too. So every night is really 5-7-4 night, but the night we have designated for it is when it's more about the fans.
Yeah.
And that win, is more about that, 6 men. So.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I know it's a long way away, but we can build hype to it all season long.
When is it this year?
February something. Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
I think it's maybe the 18th. The 8th. February 8th. I almost had it. 8th. So there you go.
Close enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to build up to it.
Yeah. Build up to it. Slow build, and then we don't want a crescendo there, but it'll be a real high point of the season still.
That's right.
Demetrius, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Coach, always great to see you. All right. Got a couple basketball guys here. New basketball guys. Sir Mohammad, Cole Certa. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Thank you for having us.
Okay. We're going to cover a lot on our show, but this is our Spinning Our Wheels segment presented by TireRack.com. It's kind of becoming like our best segment. People just rave about it in the YouTube comments. I'm telling you. You go check them after this. So, sir, I'm going to have you spin that wheel. You got to spin it harder than you think. I'm just letting you know.
All right.
Okay? I'm going to see what game we play. Oh, we got a draft. Okay. Well, I don't have a draft topic here. I want to do a draft anyway, so I want you to spin it again. We're going to do a draft a little bit later. It's going to be our second.
All right.
Okay. Man, they really want us to draft. We're going to draft. All right, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. It wanted to. It's on the edge of draft. Okay, this or that. All right.
Okay.
This, I think we played this or that once. We played it with athletic director Pete Bevacqua, and he had some good answers. Okay, we'll ask you guys 10 this or that's. I want to see where you guys agree, disagree. Okay. TV or movie?
TV.
Yep.
Why TV?
Feel like because you have something to be like hooked on. So like if you're into a show, like you have something to like keep watching versus like a movie. It's just like more of like just like a one night thing.
I'm with you. On Netflix, you just let the next episode.
Exactly.
I'm just in.
Yeah.
I was doing that with Love is Blind last night with my wife. It was great. Okay. Kind of same genre here. Comedy or drama?
Comedy.
That was quick.
Comedy. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my take. I think I agree, but it's kind of like a ceiling floor situation. So if you give me the best drama against the best comedy, I'll take the drama.
Right.
Okay.
But if you give me the average or just I want to keep like a bad drama is terrible. Whereas, a bad comedy we can laugh at, we can still laugh a little bit, right?
I like
So I'm going the best drama, but I'm picking comedy because it's the safer bet. If that
Like
makes
that.
sense.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Concert or sporting event?
Depends what sporting event.
I feel like that goes back to
Depends what concert too, right?
that goes back
That's
to
true.
ceiling
That's
floor.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes back to ceiling floor.
So you think best concert is the higher ceiling,
I think best concert I'd probably rather go to
but you think
Actually,
in general
no,
you're
no,
picking
I
the
wouldn't.
sport. Oh.
because like March Madness, like I grew up going to like games as a kid, and that was like the best thing.
A really good sporting event is like nothing tops it. But like
Yeah.
a decent concert,
Okay, let's take a Final Four in which you play in out of the conversation.
Okay.
What's the best sporting event, or what's the sporting event you'd like to attend?
I'd go Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Honestly, I've been watching the World Series, and that looks like really cool.
I mean, Yankees don't.
The Yankees, Dottie.
Those are two. It's just so good.
Right.
What is the best sporting event you guys have been to? You been to some big basketball games?
I've some big Final Four. Like so I've been to 2 or 3 Final Four games.
Okay. Hot take.
Hot take. That's what we're here for.
Kentucky Derby. I don't know if that's like a sporting event, but like
Yeah. See, that's a technically sporting event, but that's closer to a concert in atmosphere.
Yeah.
So you kind of just answered your own question. You kind of want to just go to a concert disguised as a sporting event.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, this is kind of in the same vein. Rock or country music?
country music.
Country music.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would go neither. Reality TV or scripted TV?
Scripted.
You know what? I'm kind of with you again, but I've been watching so much bad reality TV lately.
Really?
Yeah, I think my wife's kind of been skewing us in one direction. I don't dislike it. I'm just saying we've been watching a lot of that lately. I'm going to blame her. Okay. Same genre question again. Action movie or rom-com?
I like rom-coms.
I like action movies.
Okay. What's your go-to rom-com?
I don't have a go-to. I just like rom-coms.
You like the idea of the plot.
Yeah, they're fun. I watch a lot of rom-coms. I won't lie.
Easier to flip on, kind of in the background.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm playing video games, I'll also have a rom-com one.
iPad?
Yep.
Yeah. I got in a groove there where I was playing a ton of video games with the iPad on.
Yeah.
Kind of zone out a little bit. What's your go-to action movie?
I don't know. I have a lot of favorite movies. I wouldn't say I have a favorite movie, but I have like favorite shows. But
So now you're saying
No,
an
favorite
action TV show.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Oh man, this will be interesting because you guys are pretty young. Phone call or text message?
Phone call.
Phone call.
Really?
Yeah.
So okay, explain that to me. I would have thought text. Why not? You guys don't text.
I mean, I text because I have to.
Okay.
Yeah. I text when like I can't get off a phone call. You know, like in like a surrounding area, can't really get a phone call, and I'm texting. But like anytime else, like I'm just gonna call him.
So if you're trying to get his attention, you're calling him.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Interesting. I feel like all I do is text. That could be a generational thing. You guys are talking on the phone a lot?
Like quick
Yeah.
things, just quick text. But like, if I have a couple questions, I'm just gonna call you.
100%. Yeah.
That's probably that's good actually. Okay, night out or night in?
Night in.
I like both. I don't know.
Okay,
Probably night out.
depends on your mood. I can go either way. I can see video games, iPad next to you watching the rom-com. Night in. I should have known. I should have known. Okay. Last movie you've seen in theaters?
A rom-com. Anyone but you. That's the last I saw in theater.
I love this.
The Bad Boys, the Bad Boys movie.
Are they on 3? Is that what it was, or is it 4? No,
It was, yeah. I
think it's 3. I think it's 3.
Yeah, over the summer.
These guys are getting old. I think I saw Oppenheimer. I did the Barbenheimer thing last year.
I heard that's good. I haven't seen that.
It was. All right, last one. Last TV show you watched?
Have you ever seen the TV show Power?
It's like a little, yeah, on Showtime, I think.
Yeah. That was
50
the
Cent?
last one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't seen it.
That was the last one.
I know about it.
Very good.
One Tree Hill.
Dang, this guy, like, he's got the genre down right there. Okay,
That's what I do.
I love that. We'll circle back and get some more TV related questions for sure later in the year. That was great. That was fun. Spin our wheels a little bit. Oh, I should answer. Love is Blind last night. I've just been grinding through Love is Blind. It's I don't know. It's okay season. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come back.
Sounds sweet. Sounds good.
All right, great job, guys. I learned a lot about you already. I want to have maybe a different kind of conversation here. This is our Cooler Conversation segment presented by Yeti. As you can see, we got the Yeti here. A couple things. You guys are lucky. This is our Halloween episode, as you can tell. All right. Do you got any candy first?
Definitely take some candy.
All right. In season candy. All right. I like that. I'm not going to tell Coach Shrews. No. And then we got all kinds of Coke products here, or Dasani. Dasani's our water.
I'll take a water, yeah. Coach wouldn't like that if I had a Coke.
Hydrate. You guys have practice today or what?
We do, yeah, later today.
What time's practice?
3:30.
Yeah, 3:30.
3:30. I'm still holding out. I'm going to have a Coke by the end of the year, but not yet. So that is where I want to start. Practice. I talked to Marcus Burton around this time last year, and I asked him about a Coach Shrews practice. And he said after his first practice, he called his mom, and he said, I'm not sure I can do this. How hard have the practices been to adjust to?
They're tough. They are really tough.
I would say they're pretty tough, but I feel like it's very like I feel like I just know what to expect every day. We do a lot of like the same stuff every day. So I think like the first week was tough, but like now I feel like it's just like a routine almost.
What's the biggest change from what you guys were doing in high school to what you now get at this level on a day in, day out basis?
For me, I'd probably just say like the speed and like the physicality.
Okay.
Just because college sports is definitely like a lot older than what it used to be.
You're playing against 22, 23-year-olds.
Right. Yeah. And that's definitely been probably the biggest, test. So
what about you,
sir?
I'd say details. Like the little things you don't think matter in high school because you can just push someone out the way or guard somebody. Like every single little thing matters.
So give me an example of a little thing that you were maybe getting away with in high school because you could just get the step on somebody, or like what is it that, like, what's a detail you've had to really focus on since you started here?
Everything defensively,
like blocking out, like you can get away with not blocking out, like in high school.
Go jump higher than someone.
Right, yeah.
So do you find that like in high school, depending on I guess what level you played at or what league you played at, like you could develop some really bad habits, right?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You open those up, man. You get
I'm getting.
Don't worry about it. They'll edit out all the crinkling. You're good. Yeah, that's the thing when I watch like high school and college. The biggest difference is those things right there, right? It's like you can just get away with stuff, and you have to kind of learn the hard way, right?
Sure. Yeah. For sure.
Have you enjoyed the practices, or even though you're at the end of them, you're not dying?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
That's when we compete.
Yeah, the competing is probably the best part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you guys live? You guys are on campus, right?
Yeah.
How's the adjustment been to college? Tell me about what it's been like to be on campus at Notre Dame in the first couple months.
I feel like the summer helped.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
We were roommates in the summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like adjusting with not a lot of people on campus made when we got here so much easier.
Just from what standpoint? From getting around campus?
Getting around, having a couple classes, getting a feel, and then you get back in the fall. Everyone's here, more classes. So it's kind of like
You get to ease into.
Yeah, exactly.
You can focus a little. Focusing on basketball now is not overwhelming.
For
You're just adding something on. Is that how you felt?
That's exactly how I felt. Yeah, I think the summer really prepared us and like got all like the emotions out of the way, just so like we were ready right when we got here in the fall. Yeah.
Help me, because I haven't seen you guys play yet. I've seen tapes, but like try to describe your game to me or to our Notre Dame fan who might come and see you as you come on campus. How would you describe your game, Cole?
I would say for me, feel like my best ability is probably to shoot.
Okay.
Pretty good shooter. Also can pass, but really just like a competitor and like a winner. I just love to compete, and I can show a lot of emotion at times, but I just love to have fun, love to shoot, and I love to win. So,
okay. What about you, sir?
I try to do a little bit of everything, but what I do best is pass. I love passing. There's nothing better than passing. So yeah.
So you'd rather we should have done this on this or that. On this our 11th question. Okay. Would you rather dunk on someone or throw the lob for someone to dunk on someone else?
I mean, of course I want to dunk on someone.
Okay, so you don't like to pass as much as you just said.
I like to pass more than I like to score, but like if I can dunk on someone, I'm going to dunk on someone.
Okay, so you kind of the ceiling floor.
Yeah.
Not all points are created equal. Is what we're saying here.
Mm-hmm.
Like floater in the lane, you'd rather have the assist, but if you have the chance to dunk, you're going to take the dunk.
Yeah.
Okay. What's a NBA player, or it could be a college player, but player you looked up to growing up, Cole?
JJ Redick was probably the main guy.
Right here. That's my guy. How about that Lakers start?
I know. Crazy.
He knows the game at a high level.
He does, yeah.
So how old were you when he was at Duke? Were you...
I was pretty young,
Too
but like
young.
those were like the highlights I watched. Just like the Duke highlights. Like Duke JJ Redick was like my favorite player.
He had a game where he went, I believe, on 13 shots. He scored 41 points against Virginia. He had like 41 against Texas.
Oh yeah, I watched that one.
That one's insane. He just lit PJ Tucker up, and like to this day, those guys hate each other.
Oh yeah.
Who would you model your game after? Not your dad, right? A little different skill set.
Yeah, I would not compare our games. What's like in any way. I don't know who I'd say like my game is similar to because I do some weird stuff.
Okay.
But the two people like I grew up like loving, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and then I throw Jimmy Butler in there too.
Do you ever then, like on your, I don't know what algorithm you're being fed, do you ever get those videos with, I don't know what the song is. It's like the emotional song. And you see like 2011 KD and Russ young, and you're like, you're kind of supposed to cry because it's over. But like those OKC teams, how old? Well, wait didn't your dad,
5.
did your dad play at OKC?
Mm-hmm.
Was he with them at that time? Oh, so that's why. Okay. So did you know them? You met them?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So you got to see them up close and personal.
Mm-hmm.
That's like...
Yeah. That's where I started playing basketball, so...
Really? All-time dynamic duo there. Yeah. I think, didn't they just see each other at a football game and they kind of...
It was like an awkward moment, but like they kind of acted like they liked each other.
Yeah. I think deep down, when it's all said and done, they'll come back and it'll all be good. But man, those were some amazing teams.
Right, yeah.
So those are your guys growing up, KD and Russ? Okay. That's pretty good. I'm from Seattle, so when we had 1 year of KD and Russ. Or no, we had 1 year of KD. Sorry. Yeah. They drafted Russ, and then they moved the team like a month later.
Okay.
So that's pretty tough. Who was your NBA team, Cole?
Probably the Bulls, growing up in Illinois.
Okay.
Just like I didn't really have like a team really, so like just I went to a couple Bulls games growing up.
Derrick Rose?
Derrick Rose. I was like, yeah. Until he got hurt, but...
Okay, so Derrick Rose, who would you take then? Derrick Rose or Russell Westbrook?
Derrick Rose. I grew up a Bulls fan.
Embrace debate, sir. You want to correct him or not?
Derrick Rose, like might be the greatest point guard of all time.
Oh, whoa. We may have just changed our draft idea.
I take all that back, but like prime Derrick Rose.
You want to? They're going to cut that out. You're going to be on blast on the internet. Cole Certa says Derrick Rose is the greatest point guard of all time. Just a smash cut to like John Stockton and Chris Paul rolling over in their graves.
No, I take that back. But
so you think Russ better than Derrick Rose? Why do you think that?
Mr. Triple Double, like did it all.
Ooh. I think like overall Russell was better, but I think like peak Derrick Rose, peak Russell, like.
We're talking about ceiling and basement again, or ceiling and like
We keep coming back to that.
I think Yeah, I don't know. That triple-double year that Russ had, it felt by the end a little bit like he was stat padding.
It was just dominance.
Rookie,
All dominance.
Derrick Rose.
All dominance. That's all I got to say.
Let's shift towards the season a little bit. This will be your guys' first time getting after it pretty soon here in this exhibition. Obviously, the regular season, I think, starts a week from this Wednesday. But just what are you guys looking forward to most about getting on the floor in a real competitive game wearing the jersey? What are you guys excited about the most? I'll start with you, Cole.
I think just taking it all in, like playing in these big atmospheres, like, you know, playing in the ACC has always been like a dream of mine. So just like really just to take it all in and just have fun with it. I mean, I'm like basically living out my dream about, you know, same thing with Certa. But really just to compete and have fun. I mean, I think the trips will be really fun, like off the court, just like going out to eat with all the guys. Like we have a really, really tight team. So it makes like the little things more.
What about you, sir?
Yeah, just kind of what he said. You dream about it, especially I grew up in North Carolina, so you see all the ACC basketball, like it's ACC country down there. So playing in these ACC games and then also just playing someone else because, like, right, all summer and all fall, we've just been killing each other.
Right.
So now it's time to, like, be a team and go beat up on some other people. So that's
finally come together.
Yeah.
You guys both went to Spain, right?
Yeah.
Okay, give me your Spain highlights real quick. What'd you like about Spain?
Spain was awesome. Spain was a great time for the whole team just to connect with each other on like a deep, like we all like met each other in the summer, but like still we're like getting to know each other. And I think really Spain just brought us all together in like a different way, just because it was just a complete like bonding trip, just doing all sorts of activities together. So I would say,
yeah, exactly that. Like I'm cool with every single dude on our team. It's a different experience than I've had on any team I've been on. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. One more thing before we get to our draft, and I can already tell draft's gonna be spicy just based on what I just saw here. Are you guys golfing? Have I been hearing about golf?
Yeah, we're big golfers. We got a couple golfers on the team.
So it's you two. Who else?
Us two.
Garrett, Logan. And I think that's it.
That's foursome. That's all you need. You don't need anybody else.
Like some guys are starting. Like Brady's starting.
Yeah, a couple other guys.
Braden's talked about starting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys been playing at the Warren?
Yeah, we played. Where did we play? Warren and Blackthorn.
Yeah, Judah.
And Judah. Yeah.
They're hitting all the local spots.
And all the local spots.
Warren's pretty sweet. Like you get Warren.
Crazy.
You guys played in the summer?
Yeah.
You get Warren. Right conditions, right time of year. It's like pristine, dialed in, super fun.
Super fun.
All right, you guys let me know when you're out there. I'll come track you down. We can play sometime.
That sounds good.
Cole, why don't you reach into that locker there behind you? It's got some mesh netting on it. You got to be careful. See, there's a little, it's going to be a whole operation here. You can do it, though. And there's some whiteboards, and there should be some pens. And we're going to try to do a draft. I did this last week. I think I won the draft. I did running backs of Jeremiah Love's lifetime with him and Isaiah Dunn. And so the idea was drafted a team of 4 running backs. So I'm almost thinking we should do point guards of your guys. Just watch your head there. I don't want you to get hit. Last thing we need is an injury on Wake Up the Echoes. Can't even imagine what they'd do to me if that happened. I think we're going to go a draft of NBA point guards that have played in the league in your guys' lifetime. Okay. So John Stockton's out.
Okay.
But you guys are what? You guys were born what? 06?
05.
05?
05.
Yeah. Okay, so think about that. It won't be hard for you guys. I'll have to think a little bit about those eras. And why don't we have Cole, you go first. It's going to be a snake.
Okay. That's what
so I'm going to get 2.
Okay, I'm going to go.
And we can debate, what is a point guard? Like, again, the 2 guys you labeled, we can categorize them that way. Yeah. We can debate it if we think it's out of bounds, but you guys go ahead.
All right, I want to take Steph first.
How do you make that your first pick after what you said?
I was just joking, man. Steph is.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm a Steph guy.
Yeah, Steph Curry is unbelievable,
okay.
especially what he did in the Olympics.
Yeah, that was pretty good. You kind of you. I feel like every 4 years we forget. I mean, we're ever re-reminded how important those Olympic moments are. Like they still talk about that 2008 Spain game, that clip of Kobe running through Pau.
Yeah.
Like Steph's threes are going to be something that you guys will tell your kids about, right? Okay. All right, it's a good one. I can't argue with that one. Who you got?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay. You wrote down Mr. Triple Double. Okay, I can see where this is going. All right, well, I'm going to go Chris Paul. I think that's the safe and correct pick. I have to be honest with you. I've got to think here a little bit.
No, I'm starting to
Where would I
too.
go? Like I have ideas. They're probably gonna be bad because Rose. Like back when I was growing up, the debate was legitimately Chris Paul, Darren Williams,
Okay.
and it's like Darren Williams. He can't be on this list. He's definitely not. There's no way he's one of the best of the last 20 years. But I'm blanking on who to take here. Derek, who you got? Who?
That's a good pick.
All right, I'll go Kyrie.
That's a good pick.
I get to use my millennial in the back here.
Okay.
Kyrie Irving, that's a good one. All right, sir, it's all you.
Steve Nash.
I should have taken Nash. That's such a good call.
And you have Chris Paul and
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
It's not bad.
Shoot.
And you get 2 here.
I get 2.
Just to tell you like how my brain is fried right now. Like I was thinking Darren Collison there for a second. Like I'm just like I'm a mess right now thinking of point guards.
I am too. I'm struggling. Like, is LeBron? Are we counting LeBron as a point guard? No, we can't count LeBron as a point guard.
No.
Yeah.
Plenty skilled, but he's not point guard. I'm trying to think too, man.
Okay. Luka.
I think we're gonna count it.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Luka, and then come on, who else is? Help me out, sir. I'm blanking right now.
Can't help you out. I'm building my team. Sorry.
No,
It's like I can't think of any guys that have played point guard in the NBA right now.
no, he had. Oh, D Rose. Oh my gosh. Have you taken D Rose?
No.
Yeah, D Rose.
Okay.
Come on,
MVP.
man.
I think that's the only MVP. No, you got an MVP. You know what? You got 3 MVPs on your list because Nash is 2-time MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Russ is an MVP.
Yeah.
Both my guys. Ish, no MVPs there. Dang.
I have no idea where I'm going with this one.
I'm trying to think of teams. Like, who was playing in the finals? Like,
That's what I've been thinking.
yeah, and I'm just like, LeBron had Kyrie. That's
Right.
it. And you had the Warriors. Celtics haven't really had somebody. I'm trying to go back further. Like, okay. Yeah, I got one. You're going to be upset because I know you're going to be upset. I got this.
I have one, but I feel like it's too early to take him.
You only got one more pick after this.
Yeah,
Okay, then I'll go SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
he's good.
So we're also projecting here a little bit, right? That's fair. That's
His
totally
year
fair.
Last year.
Yeah, he's nice, but the body of work is still TBD.
Yeah.
But it's a good start. I'm gonna go. I think this is a good one, but you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna go with Tony Parker.
I was gonna go with him. Yeah.
I had to get a couple rings in there because I got one with Kyrie, but I was MVP list and only 1 ring. Now I got 3 rings. I think he had 3. And then my last one. Man, I'm sure we're forgetting someone obvious, right?
Yeah, we
1000%.
definitely are.
Who was creating? Tony Parker was going to be his pick. I'm just thinking like all 2 guards right now I could think of. And Darren Collison. He's on my mind for some reason. Point guards. Oh, you know what? I was going to say Drew. Can I go with Drew?
Drew Holiday?
Yeah. Does he count as a point? Is he a point? But does he count as good enough? I don't know.
I feel like we're forgetting people here. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're for some guys for sure.
I'll go with Drew. Whatever.
Okay.
We're going to get killed in the comments. It's okay.
Yeah. But I'm only thinking of just guys I like. I'm not
Yeah.
thinking like, hey, let's just do guys I like then.
Yeah. Do it. It's a 4th. It's your last pick.
Rondo.
Oh, that's way better than Drew Holiday. Rondo is excellent. That's an excellent pick. I feel like I did a bad job here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with John Wall.
That's good.
I don't know if I like it, but
Short but sweet. Kind of like with D Rose too. You got some guys that burned fast and bright.
yeah.
All right, this will be interesting. Let's go through your team. You turn it around, show the cameras. What'd you end up with, Cole?
So I ended up with Steph Curry, Luka, D Rose, and John Wall. I like my first three. I don't know if I like my fourth.
Go ahead.
I went Russell Westbrook, Steve Nash, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Rajon Rondo.
It's pretty good. I went with Chris Paul, Kyrie, Tony Parker, Drew Holiday. I have to confess, I think my team's the worst team. These guys all underachieved except for Drew. No, Tony Parker, he met his potential. But like Kyrie and Chris Paul, they left some meat on the bone in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they're still in the league.
Still
That's
like
crazy. Real quick, bonus 2 costume draft. Okay? So a true back and forth snake, Halloween costumes.
Okay, Halloween costumes. Okay.
You get to pick 2 Halloween costumes. So you're going to a Friday night Halloween party and a Saturday night Halloween party. What are you wearing to each one? And Cole's going first again.
Okay. This might be a hot take. Have you seen the movie Step Brothers? With the sweater and
Yeah.
That's why I'd go there.
Okay, but you need another person for that, right? Or are you going alone?
I'd have to wear his own
Team costume.
Yeah.
Got it.
A team costume.
Got it.
I'm gonna just do like some of the costumes I've worn before.
Yeah, please do.
So a Dunkin' Donut. So like dress up as a basketball player, and then you wear like an inflatable donut.
Okay, hold on. So it's like a play on words you're saying. This is a next level costume. So you're I thought you were like a coffee cup.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a dunkable donut. You're a dunking donut.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I see what you did there. I'm gonna go with. Is it The Incredibles? Is it the family?
Yeah.
The movie? I think if you're like a family or you're like one of those, that's just a rock solid costume.
Yeah, that's a good costume.
So I'm gonna go with an Incredible, and then I'm gonna go. We just had a baby a couple months ago. I'm gonna go with just a pumpkin.
Just a
like
pumpkin.
dressing up the baby as a pumpkin,
Okay.
right?
Like
so
that.
it's the baby as a pumpkin. No one's going to make any bad comments about it. It's kind of a bulletproof content. So baby pumpkins. Okay, sir.
Another one I've worn. I have 2 sisters. So one year as a fairy godbrother.
Fairy godbrother.
Very good, brother.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, round it out, Cole. What do you got?
All right, my last one. I'm trying to think here. I was Batman one year, so I think Batman's like
I was Batman, I think age 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So you're good there. That's great. So I'm an Incredible that's carrying around a baby pumpkin. You got a Dunkin' Donut and then a fairy godbrother, and you were Batman and who?
Like the step. It was like more of like a partner guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know who won that one. We'll see. Maybe they'll comment on it.
I still don't know what I'm going to be this year.
Yeah. You got time. Guys, thanks for coming by. Thanks for doing a couple of drafts. Looking forward to seeing you guys on the floor this year. Have fun with it. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Pete Bevacqua, great to see you again. Welcome back to Wake Up the Echoes. Do I remind you of the famous Lou Holtz that referred to you so famously as a man with the heart of a lion?
It's an uncanny resemblance, Tony. It looks great. Yeah, you look good.
I
good.
I talked to Coach Shrews about this look. He said I nailed it except for the lack of socks.
Socks, yeah.
That's a big miss by me. You saw it right away, too. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't think Coach Holtz showed this much ankle in his day?
I think he's a fan of socks.
He strikes me as a tube sock guy.
Yep.
Do you have plans for a Halloween costume this year?
I am judging a Halloween contest.
Really?
Along with my wife, Tiffany.
That's the best role to have.
Yeah, it is for our staff. So not yet decided. I was thinking maybe Coach Holtz, but now that would be too repetitive. But looking forward to Halloween. My kids love it. It's new for them this year in the Notre Dame community, so they're looking forward to it. But it should be a fun day.
Yeah, it is every year around campus. When I was here full time, you get some really elaborate costumes because there is so much lore to pull from at Notre Dame. You can go a lot of different directions. I think this is a hit though. The Lou Holtz. It's tough to go and beat a Lou Holtz costume if done properly, I think.
Yeah, maybe I could do Newt Rockne. We have a similar hair.
That'd be a good one. We could all try the Rockne one. Let's talk a little football first. I'm going to bounce around with you while I have you. you were at the game down there at MetLife. I thought just another great performance from this team. They get more and more fun, at least from my vantage point, to watch every week. Another 50-point performance. Just what's been your takeaway now that they're 2/3 of the way into the season?
Yeah, it's great to see the way they've continued to progress, right? Week in and week out. I think we're getting healthier. I think we're getting more comfortable. You think of a player like Jordan Faison, who's been kind of battling some bumps and bruises, and he seemed to be in great form, adds that extra spark. Riley Leonard is playing at such a great high level right now. The defense is continuing to fire on all cylinders. It's a dynamic team. And but I take my example from Marcus, Coach Freeman. We're taking it week by week and treating just every game. You go into it like it's a playoff game.
How tough was it for you to go week by week? I find it tough for me to go week by week because I start looking at college football landscape and where everyone's ranked, and the 12-team playoff this year is really excited to think about. But it seems like, and you hear Coach Freeman really hammering it, it's just 1 week by 1 week, and that's hard for me at least.
Yeah, I would say it hasn't been hard. Okay. I mean, I don't think anybody has looked ahead. I mean, you think about the opponents we've had. Think about Navy, undefeated, a dynamic offense. I mean, nobody was taking them lately. I mean, they're always tough to begin with and incredibly disciplined year in and year out. So we were geared up for this game. I don't think anybody was looking past Navy. And, we have a bye, thankfully, which is great. It's always nice to have a bye this time of the season to kind of heal up and to prepare. And then we have a Florida State team, which is a bit of a mystery, right? I mean, they have so much talent, and you just don't know what can happen. So I think I have been so impressed with the entire program, the coaching staff, the players. It is truly a week-by-week mentality, and we'll continue that approach for sure.
I wanted to get your input and just your perspective on the Navy rivalry. That was my first time being in the building for a game against Navy, and I do the games with Ryan Harris on the radio. Yeah. He obviously played in that rivalry. He's now broadcasted a few times, and you could just hear a different respect level. Not that he doesn't respect the other opponents, but there's an elevated respect for Navy and what they stand for and what they did for Notre Dame. Just for you as the AD, the importance of that rivalry, where do you see it?
Well, it's such a wonderful rivalry, partnership, whatever you want to call it, between the Naval Academy and Notre Dame. You think back to when it started in the 20s, 1927. You think about that time period during World War II where the Naval Academy really stepped up and helped Notre Dame when economic times were quite difficult. And, for me, it was the first Notre Dame game I ever saw in person was a game at the old Meadowlands. And it always seemed to be the game that we would go to whenever it was a Navy home game, whether it was in the Meadowlands or in Baltimore or in Philadelphia. My family would make the trip to see the Navy Notre Dame game. So it's always held a special place in my heart. And we had a great dinner on Friday night, Notre Dame and the Naval Academy. And, I talked about that in this age of college sports with transfer portals and NIL and NCAA lawsuits and conference realignment, it's wonderful to see two programs get together, two historic programs, which really concentrate and focus on what the student athletes are bringing to the table and what it's all about. And then, of course, the whole extra dimension for those young men who are part of the Naval Academy football program and what they're preparing to do for the next chapter in their lives. I think it's wonderful for Navy. I think it's wonderful for Notre Dame, and I think it's really just a powerful statement for the entire college landscape. Maybe now, Tony, more than ever.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was something, it's almost hard to describe, but when you're at the game, it just feels different. It feels like a different kind of football game. I don't know how to perfectly describe it. It's that when Navy hits a big play, and it's probably because Notre Dame was able to win so big, but you didn't feel as bad as when another opponent hits it. There's something.
Yeah, I felt that.
You felt that? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you are more of a Notre Dame.
You're still playing them in a football game, and you still want to win. But yeah, you have just a tremendous respect for those young men on that field that can balance everything they have to balance, from the rigors of academics to playing big-time college football, and then also preparing to serve the country. It's impressive, to say the least.
Yeah, it's incredible. The other game that's going to be in the tri-state area about a month from now, Shamrock Series game coming up at Yankee Stadium. The Shamrock Series at this point, I mean, it's just such a cool event from my standpoint, and again, get to see a stadium I've never seen before, which will be Yankee Stadium. Army looks great this year as well. Just what's your excitement level for that first Shamrock Series that you'll oversee as the AD?
Well, I love it. I love the concept. It has a great history already. And you think about this year, another place for me, which is going to feel like home. I mean, I've probably been to Yankee Stadium at least 100 times over the course of my life growing up in New York, and to a few football games there too, a few Notre Dame football games. But I think it's going to be a wonderful atmosphere. The Saturday before the Thanksgiving week, a primetime game on NBC in Yankee Stadium, the 100-year anniversary of the Four Horsemen. You think about the magnitude of those games between Army and Notre Dame during that time period. I think it's going to be wonderful. We have so many fans in the major metropolitan New York area. Obviously, Army's from right up the Hudson River at West Point. I think it's going to be a great scene. I'm excited for it.
So are you a Yankees fan?
I am a Yankees fan. Yeah, we're going through a little bit of a tough time right now, down 2-0, but hopefully we can bounce back, and now that it's going to be back at Yankee Stadium for a few games.
So that was a lengthy 24 hours. You're up pretty late Friday before the football game, I imagine, watching. I don't want to bring up any scar tissue, but that's a tough one to take.
Yeah, I was watching. So I had my son, my 11-year-old son, Jake, made the trip to the game with me. And we had the dinner with the Naval Academy on Friday night. Then we got back and watched the game. And he luckily fell asleep before that 10th inning. I stayed up and endured it, so that was a shame. But what a great World Series! Talk about two wonderful teams, and it's great for Major League Baseball for sure.
There is really nothing quite like high-level postseason baseball, and if you're invested in it, I mean, it can almost make you want to jump out of your skin. It's so intense.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But all major sports. I mean, you think about postseason college football, the NFL, NHL, NBA, WNBA. To see the end of a season when you end up with the two best teams, and this year I really do think it was the Dodgers and the Yankees to over this 7-game series, and then with all the star power both of those teams have, it's pretty impressive.
We're coming up on the month of November, which anybody that's ever worked in college athletics kind of knows it as the first of maybe two crossover seasons. Talked a little football. Basketball's going to start heating up. Hockey's already underway. Yep. I'm just thinking of the winter sports, and of course the other fall sports have been going for a couple months here as well. From your vantage point, managing this time of year, maybe what comes to mind? What are the challenges, and then also just what excites you about kind of getting so many sports underway and having the winter get going?
Yeah, well, I think it's exciting is what it is. You think about the fall sports and, our soccer programs, football, everything we're doing with the hockey season taking off. And now, I've attended a bunch of the volleyball matches, which have been great, and seeing what Salima is doing as that team continues to get better and better. And then I'm so excited about, what Micah is doing in his rebuild of the men's basketball program. You see the development of that team even last year from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. You think about the changes that we have made coming into this season. One of the most dynamic players in the country with Marcus Burton is going to be wonderful. And then, Niele, and I think we have so much talent on our women's team. It should be a really exciting year for both of those programs. And I'm excited about, our hockey team. Jeff Jackson in his last year, we really want to send him out on a high note. And there's such excitement over in Compton. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time to be at Notre Dame. It's a wonderful time to be in South Bend. You look at your calendar every day, and it almost feels like a day doesn't go by where you can see some of the best college sports in the country right here on campus.
If you pull up the Notre Dame's composite schedule around November, just every day, there's something to do.
It's wonderful.
I talked to Coach Shrews and Demetrius Jackson, who were here earlier on the show, just about the basketball scene in South Bend. And you're obviously just moved out here with your family, but you know plenty about this area. And it just seems to me like the basketball scene continues to grow here. You mentioned Marcus. I think it's so valuable to have someone on the team in such a high-profile role, playing such a high-profile role for the team. What do you view as the importance of this local area and how it can inject life into any team, but specifically the basketball program, when there's someone from its backyard playing at a high level?
Oh, I think it's great. I think that the local fan base, obviously they have such an affinity for Notre Dame, but when you add a homegrown star to any of our teams, it just kind of adds to the intrigue. It adds to the local support. Indiana is obviously a basketball state. I mean, we know that. And the high school programs, it's funny, My two boys, one's in 6th grade and one's in 8th grade. They both start. The football just ended Sunday.
How they do?
They both made their championship games.
Okay.
They both unfortunately lost. So it was Saturday was better than Sunday in the Bevacqua household. But they both start basketball this week. So, looking forward to it. And you think about St. Joe High School, and, Micah has his younger son playing on that team. That's going to be a really talented team. It's a lot of fun. And it's wonderful to see, when you go to a men's basketball game, you go to a women's basketball game, so well. It's great to see our student body there, of course, but it's also great to see the local South Bend community come out and support those teams, much like they do at Compton. It's wonderful. And, it's part of Notre Dame's strategic priority is to continue to build such a healthy bond between Notre Dame and the surrounding South Bend community. It's a win-win.
Okay, last thing I wanted to hit on before I let you go, Pete, is just an update on the men's swimming program. A couple months back, you announced that there'd be a suspension for the academic year, and I just wanted to touch base with you and just get an update on where things stand with that.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. And it's, it's been a tough process. It's been, really, it was sad, to state the obvious, but it was necessary. We made the correct decision in terms of everything we wanted to change about the program. And there were so many elements of the program that were unbelievably positive, but there were some negatives that we needed to correct. And so it was a difficult decision, but it was a necessary decision. But I have to tell you, we have been incredibly pleased with the progress, and led by the efforts of Chris Lindauer, our head coach, and his staff, our sports administrators. We have really seen great progress in trying to make the program healthier and better than ever before. I've been so pleased with the strength and the resilience of the women's swimming and diving program. They have been so incredibly strong throughout this. I've also been so pleased with the strength of the incoming freshmen who are now freshmen here on our campus and members of the men's swimming program as well as our diving program. Not to mention, those individuals, those student athletes who transferred into the program. And we've had constant dialogue with all the impacted student athletes, whether that's the women's program, the men's program, those transfers, the incoming freshmen, on a team-wide basis, on a very individual basis. We have started a reintegration into the practice sessions in stages. That first started with making sure that the incoming freshmen and transfers in terms of practice were there with our women's swimming and diving team and our men's diving team. More recently, coming in many ways as a strong recommendation from our women's team, we brought the upperclassmen men's swimmers back into the pool with our women for practice sessions. So there's been that progress. Chris Lindauer has also developed a really complete, impressive rehabilitation plan. So all the proper steps have been taken and have continued to be taken. And I would say, Tony, if we continue to see this level of progress, if that rehabilitation plan is followed like we know it will be, as we keep the constant state of communication open between the athletic department and our sports administrators and the coaching staff and the student athletes, we're hopeful, very hopeful that we can bring the men's swimming program back for the next academic year. That's our hope. That's our goal. A lot of work left to be done, but we believe, on the right track.
Well, I appreciate the update. And the nice thing is you'll be back throughout the year so we can check in maybe a couple months down the road and just see where things stand and how things are progressing.
Yeah, it's a key priority of mine. It's a key priority of the university, and happy to keep you updated.
Great. Pete, thanks for stopping by. Always great to see you. We'll see you in a few weeks back on Wake Up the Echoes.
Great. Thank you, Tony.
That does it for another edition of Wake Up the Echoes presented by TireRack.com. What a great show this week. Thanks to all our guests from Micah Shrewsberry, Demetrius Jackson, Cole Certa, Sir Mohammad, and of course, Pete Bevacqua at the end there talking through everything with me. Want to say again, thanks to everyone that's been in the YouTube comments voting on this awesome outfit. I think we did a great job. Everyone behind the scenes did an awesome job putting it together. You guys at home listening in the comments settled on the correct costume. So excellent work by you. As we go forward, obviously Halloween will be in the past. Feel free to utilize the YouTube comments to send us any suggestions or feedback you might have on the show. We're always open to what the fans have to say and how we can always keep catering this great show towards your interests and needs going forward. That does it for this week's edition. We'll talk to you next time on Wake Up the Echoes, presented by TireRack.com.